I'm Connor Mead, and I'm here today at the 2016 Canadian Science Policy Conference, and joining me today is Dr. Michael May, who's the President and CEO of the Centre for Commercialization of Regenerative Medicine, or CCRM. So, Michael, thank you so much for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
So why don't you start off by telling us a little bit about CCRM, what makes it important, and what makes it unique?
Sure. So CCRM is a commercialization center focused on regenerative medicine and the promise of stem cells and other cell therapies to revolutionize medicine, providing cures. Stem cells were discovered in Canada. There's a great legacy of excellence in the science. And with CCRM and its academic partners and industry partners and investment partners have the chance to make regenerative medicine Canada's industry and have Canada not only be a leader in the science but also in the commercialization, which means that this industry could generate both health outcomes for Canadians and benefits, economic benefits for Canadians, and be something that we can put a stake in the ground and claim as great Canadian leadership.
Fantastic. So what are some of the current most important challenges in stem cell research, and what are we doing to overcome and to meet those challenges? So
the federal government and the provincial governments have invested in this science for many years. We were funded federally to focus on commercialization. There was an organization in NCE for 15 years that created a culture of collaboration among the scientists to drive the discovery. What we need is this is a dream team. This is something that Canadians are leaders in. We need to create sustained, coordinated investment to take it to the next level, so that we can translate this into products for the benefit of Canada and the rest of the world. But it also is a new area of medical treatment, and so while we can generate health and economic outcomes, tackling policy around medical care, the regulation of these therapies, reimbursement for these therapies, and accessing what's a gap is risk capital to drive the companies that my organization are creating, and to attract companies to come to Canada to grow their companies in the ecosystem that we have, are all targets for policy change as well. And the nice thing about this industry is that there's no baggage or history to struggle with. We can look strategically ahead and say, how do we create new policy that would distinguish Canada from the rest of the world in this space? Okay.
So what are some of the assets and core competencies that give Canada the opportunity to be a global leader in the space?
So it's all based on strong science. So in the 1960s, stem cells were discovered in Canada, which led to bone marrow transplants or hematopoietic stem cell treatments. But now there's a whole pipeline of clinical trials being conducted using cells as the therapeutic. And even on the panel I was on today, a treatment for sepsis, which has a high mortality and costs the healthcare system a lot, and a serious problem in healthcare being treated by cells. There are treatments under development to inject stem cells that have been developed or differentiated into heart cells to treat heart disease. We have clinicians here in Ottawa that are injecting cells and demonstrating great results with multiple sclerosis. So there's a whole pipeline of clinical trials now on the back of many years of great science. And then my organization works with all of these partners to create companies and to attract anchor multinationals to create an ecosystem where we can create an industry out of this.
So what's the hardest part of turning that science and turning those discoveries into viable companies and getting them financed and helping them grow to be global leaders?
Well, so there's a number of bottlenecks now. I mean, there are always bottlenecks. What we want to do is we want to create a pipeline. We want to be able to get a return on more than just the R&D. So a lot of our patents leave Canada, or companies leave Canada because investment is elsewhere. Right. So we need to be able to extract a return from the science, but also the clinical trials, from the manufacturing, from the delivery to the patient, so that we create an industry. And I would say the bottlenecks right now are funding for clinical trials, risk capital or investment in companies at the early stage to get them off the ground, and then investment in manufacturing, so that if you think of investment in manufacturing, you can start to envision company creation that is sticky, not companies that you're creating that will leave the country to find investment or to be manufactured. So if you do all that stuff in a strategic way in Canada, then we can create an industry, a sustainable industry here.
Fantastic. Well, Michael, thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. My last question before we go, where can we go online to learn more about the good work you're doing?
Sure. So our website is www.ccrm.ca.
Fantastic.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Pleasure chatting.
Bye.